into can they do it, we'll find out, as Andy and Wepez, I believe, are going into the draft.
Yeah, the draft's already underway here. Actually, a few picks in, but it was cool to check and see how everyone upstairs is doing, of course. Awesome.
I'm surprised they're all stood up, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised.
We're just not giving them enough alcohol, apparently. But Mousesports taking on DD here. It's game 4, and Mousesports, they managed to secure themselves a Bane and a Lone Druid. The Lifestealer, for the first time, actually I think this entire series, is going to get banned out by DD.
Yeah, DD does not want to play against it, once again, just because they felt that they did not want to first pick it, and they knew that Mouse would most likely pick it together with a Lone Druid if they actually left it in the pool. So picking up a Gyrocopter first pick here wouldn't be too surprising to see a Rubik coming their way as well, just because it works really well together with the Gyrocopter. You can, of course, steal Fiend Script as well as Enfeeble and stuff like that. So it's a really nice pickup. Maybe even see a Clockwork straight away, and suddenly you got a super strong tri-lane.
We'll see if that's going to be their choice. And DD, they're going to pick up the Darkseer in the Treant again. They love this hero. And honestly, in this position, I got to say that Treant seems a little bit stronger just off the bat, because Bane, he doesn't really have any increment damage. There's nobody who has damage over time abilities that's going to be able to eat through that living armor yet on the side of Mousesports. Now, they could put Fata mid on the puck right now if they want to, which I feel, yep, they're just going to go ahead and pick it. So, Fata, he gets his hands on the puck, a hero that he's had gigantic impact with pretty much this entire series.
Yeah, he's been playing really well with this, and with a Bane to start off here, I feel that if DD doesn't ban it out, Mousesports just might want to try and look for an aggressive tri-lane together with the Juggernaut, Bane, and +1. They've been running it earlier in the tournament, and it works quite well. Just having the puck mid instead of running the Juggernaut mid. Juggernaut works so well in a long lane. And the question is, though, will they have enough damage to go through the living armor of the Treant?
Well, they have a lot of time to pick up at least one more support and another hero who might be getting farmed to alleviate that problem. Whereas before, I feel like James had mentioned it, it's so hard to actually take down the Razor in that matchup, and you need to make sure everyone is on point. And DD, their lane beat the Lifestealer tri-lane so badly that he just couldn't really catch up ever. So there was not enough follow-through to actually take him down. And I wouldn't even be surprised to see the Razor get banned out, just because of how well it functions with the Treant and the Darkseer, especially heroes that you know you're going to have the quick mech, right? So it could be a lot harder, I think, for Mousesports to take those fights because of how much healing they're going to have, how much damage offset they're going to have, and how much team fight DD currently have with the vacuum into the call down, into the overgrowth.
Yeah, you can of course go for that pipe rush once again, but just the vacuum overgrowth is so good for them to be able to lock someone down with the overgrowth, or lock someone down so you can use the static link and drain even more damage. And especially when you have a Lone Druid on the side of Mousesports, you're always going to be able to drain that bear. And that's really important in the fight, since all the items on the Lone Druid goes on the bear. You want to get an armlet, you want to get a basher, maybe an AC if he gets a lot of farm. So a Razor wouldn't still be a bad pickup for them. And then, of course, they have a Gyrocopter to fall back on.
Well, the Razor just makes sense because you know you can 1 versus 1 it. That's the thing. That's what makes it such a good pick. But they're not going to ban it. They're going to ban the TA instead. So instead of letting the Lone Druid get an easier time, they're letting Fata get an easier time, because they've banned out 3 heroes that, for most intents and purposes, kind of beat a puck. Not badly, except for the OD, of course. OD crushes intelligence ranged heroes just every single time. But just buying him the space that he needs so he can create space for the other heroes of Mousesports.
The thing for DD is that they can actually put the Darkseer mid if you want to. They can do like they did first game, put the Darkseer mid. He's going to get the farm against the puck, and being on Radiant, he can just go in and take the easy camp every time the lane is pushed. And he can keep room control out of that. So banning out only mid heroes on the side of Mousesports could be a big mistake.
We'll see what their mid choice is going to be for DD. They still have 2 picks left, looking at 1 more support. And 1, I guess you could say, unknown right now, just because, as you mentioned, it's so difficult to predict what their laning phase will end up being. Whereas Mousesports, we're likely to see this Lone Druid end up in a 1 versus 1 again. The Bane is a make of a tri-lane, but the other 2 heroes of it have yet to be seen.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they want to try and go for here. Maybe see if they want to get another support hero to combo together with the Gyrocopter and the Treant Protector, since we'll see the Treant in the support role, and it's going to be a Rubik, so works well with the Gyrocopter. You can lift into Rocket Barrage, and then you get the slow from the lead sheet as well. So they got a well-rounded out tri-lane here, and they're just looking for either a mid, of course, or an offlaner.
And this is a little bit strange to me for DD, just because you look at their lineup right now, they don't have really any physical damage until later in the game. The Gyrocopter is the only one with Flat Cannon who really deals a significant portion of it. The rest of it is all magic. You're relying on the Treant with his Leech Seed, the Fade Bolt, Darkseer, of course, and Gyrocopter, which is going to be strong because nobody on the side of Mousesports, as of yet, is going to buy a BKB except for maybe Fata. But during the late game phases, it's really difficult to rely on these types of compositions where your lineup fades very, very fast in terms of damage output if you're DD.
Especially the Tree and Protector. Overgrowth is really nice to have in the later stages of the game. And if someone's split pushing and you manage to push out the wave, you're going to have living armor to put on the towers. But other than that, Treant doesn't really add too much once you get into the later stages of the game. But Lina being picked up by Mousesports, and this just screams aggressive tri-lane, and maybe even a Juggernaut pickup for the last one here. So they have a really nice kill potential with that lane. But DD, of course, looking for, like we mentioned, either an offlaner or a mid hero.
I'm not really sure what mid they could send besides that Darkseer, as you were mentioning before. Puck does really well in pretty much every other matchup that you can give him outside of the 3 heroes that were banned. I mean, those are the 3 heroes that Puck struggles with the most, pretty much in the entire hero pool. So the choice is DD's. Right now, they're lacking a little bit of damage, and it would be nice if they could manage to get their hands on a Queen of Pain if it wasn't banned out, but unfortunately not going to be the case this time. And they're a bit all in terms of their damage output. A lot of magic, and they're going to have to rely pretty heavily on that Gyrocopter in the late game if DD don't get a really good start. So again, their style remains consistent. They really want the mid game and the early game to go well for them, and they're just going to pick up a Magnus. So Magnus gives them some solidification of more team fight. I feel like it's going to be tough for him, though, to find the openings that he really needs.
It's going to be very hard for the Mag to just farm mid as well, going up against the Puck, and especially a player like Fada on that Puck. Funzy, we've been seeing, he manages to get a lot of farm in mid, but on the Mag, it's just going to be that much harder. And Mag is really nice for him to pick up just to be able to lock the team down a bit more and open up more space for the Gyrocopter. But we pointed it out earlier, if Mag doesn't have any initiation before, it's so hard to hit those big RPs.
We'll see if he can find the openings, because they're going to be pretty darn important, especially considering Magnus's even more magic damage. I mean, yeah, BKB's a mouse for it's not going to be too prevalent in this lineup, so it's still going to work out for them, I think, okay, but it's still very mid-game centric. You want to make sure that the Gyrocopter gets a fantastic start, you start taking team fights, abuse your living armor as best you can, and just apply pressure everywhere. So DD's game plan going to be looking pretty similar to what it was in Game 2. They're not going to be taking the Razor this time, so I'm curious as what matchup this Lone Druid's actually going to have this game.
Lone Druid would most likely go up against the Darkseer in this game, of course, but Darkseer, the question is, will you want to try and go straight up against him, or will he actually... Oh, wow, that just means... Yeah, I wonder if the Lone Druid actually is going to be in the safe lane here,
I got it.
because that is a perfect aggressive tri-lane with the Alchemist. But we haven't really seen Black played. I mean, we've seen it before, but usually Koiko is part of that aggressive tri-lane once they use it, so... This is interesting.
I think they're just giving Black the safe lane, because DD's lineup, we talked about the mid-game potential. We talked about how that's pretty much going to be their time to shine. And Alchemist is a hero who, if he has a good start, can fight mid-game. It's not out of the question. He has a lot of HP, actually, especially with Chemical Rage when you get to level 2. 600 bonus health, you get a tremendous amount of regeneration. He's a hero who actually might go for a BKB in this scenario. And his damage output is going to be pretty ludicrous, especially considering the fact that once he does get a BKB, the only way to stop him is to Overgrowth or to RP, and between those two skills, if you have to wait to use them, it's going to be even harder for you to find what you're looking for. But we can see Mal's grouped up here, all heading down towards that bottom lane right now, seeing if they can find something, and it looks like Funzy's going to have to reboot really quick, so no issue there. Gives us time to go over the lineup. So, Lina, on the side of Mal's, going to be played by Cinderin. Puck, going to be played by Fata, so he's going to get that high-impact hero he needs. Koikfa, going to be playing on the Lone Druid. Black going to be playing on Alchemist. And last but not least, Pos playing on the Bane.
And on the side of DD, we of course got Goblak playing on his Tree and Protector. Funzy picking up the Mag. Darkseer being handled by Sokshka. Actually moving mid now, but he's picked up long lane items. And Bucking Mad picking up that Rubik and leaves, of course, silent on that Gyrocopter.
This is going to be the game that, of course, decides if DD stay alive. And if they take it to a Game 5 after being 0-2, that would be pretty miraculous and pretty damn impressive if you ask me, just because of the fact that starting like that, it's going to put so much pressure on you just to perform. And the fact that DD have even pulled themselves back in one game is pretty surprising to me. So it looks like Funzy's reconnected. Seems like we'll have everyone good to go here in just a second. But I think what's going to really change this game is what DD's lanes end up being. Because if they're expecting Mouse with the aggressive tri-lane, then maybe they just want to go up against that tri-lane. They have Goblak, they have Silent with the flat cannon who can harass pretty nicely. and of course that living armor.
I feel that Mouse should really run an aggressive tri-lane here. The tri-lane on the side of DD isn't super strong. I mean, you still have the kill potential. Just the Rubik and the Gyrocopter together is really nice kill potential. And then you have the survivability coming out of Goblak on that Tree and Protector just with the living armor. But I still feel that the nuke potential with Paz, Syndra, as well as Black is so massive that they can probably burst through someone before the living armor actually takes the proper effect.
We'll see if that's going to be the case as Mao's now inside of DD's jungle. They even got the bear down here scouting things out. They're going to smoke. They actually really want to find a kill, and it looks like DD will be running their defensive tri-lane. I don't think that's too much of a surprise. Very difficult to run Treant aggressively, especially when he's partnered with a Rubik. Not really a whole lot of damage output on this lane, but DD seem to play well in situations where they start off a little bit slow, and as soon as they find the openings, they just take the mid game, and all of a sudden DD are just massively ahead because of the drafts that they love to pick. But Mouse, their smoke not going to be successful here, so unfortunate they're not going to find the kill, but it looks like we will most likely be seeing Mouse with their defensive lane. We could already see Black, he's heading up the top.
Yep, and we're going to see, of course, Fada playing that mid lane then, and Paz is rotating up as well, but Syndra picked up an Invis rune, so they might want to try and put some pressure down in mid lane here. Looks like Soxka is staying closer to the mid lane. He might just start off in the jungle once he sees who's going to be up in the top lane. Does not want to go up against an aggressive tri-lane, and if he sees Black up there, he might just sack the lane completely, go into the jungle and get as much farm as possible. But this opens up so much room for Paz as well as Syndra to just pull the lane over and over, get the experience up they need, and especially get the experience on those two high-impact supports. You got Alina, you want the Laguna Blade up, and you want the Fiend Script up.
Getting 6 of them, definitely going to be pivotal, but you could also say the same thing if the supports of DD right now weren't chasing a bear. I mean, eventually Bucking Mad and Gobblack, they're going to be able to get the pulls. And the one thing about Treant is that his effectiveness before level 6 is still pretty damn good considering you can living armor any target. So even once he hits 3, even once he hits 5, those are going to be the levels where the living armor is going to start making a huge impact in even the early game fights if there happen to be any. But both teams defensively laning right now, so there's not much of a chance that we're going to see much action. If it's going to be anywhere, I'd assume it's probably going to be in the middle lane.
With these two defensive lanes, I feel that Mouse is most likely going to come out, especially because they got Koikwa down in the bottom lane, who's going to try and disrupt the farm of Silent. He's going to try and pull, make sure that Silent has to farm under the tower, whereas Mouse, they're going to be able to pull for Black, but he can just tank the creep wave up and then farm it out a bit. Since he's a melee hero, he picked up the Stout Shield, and an Alchemist, who's going to max out Grievil's Reed, is going to skyrocket a lot faster than the Gyrocopter.
That's always the fear, too. And Alchemist is actually proven to be pretty darn good against Gyrocopter, just because during the late game, you can get in, you get your Abyssal Blade, you get the BKB, whatever other damage items you choose to go for. Oh, Koikfa could be in some trouble here. Telekinesis coming out. Gobblack going to throw off an auto attack. Actually not even going to use the Leech Seed. Looks like they weren't confident that they could get the kill. Might have been able to do a decent chunk of damage, though. And the Flat Cannon coming out from Stalin, he hits the bear. They could have killed him if the Leech Seed had just a second sooner. He's even forced to pop the salve, so bit of a misplay from Gobblack.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay, but really smart play there from Silent, hitting the bear with the Flat Cannon and then almost managing to kill him off there. But Koikwa is going to be able to survive, and that's really big for him, just being able to stay in that lane and keep on creep pulling, because the pushing potential on the side of DD isn't actually that powerful. Even though Koikwa doesn't have the best counter push either, he can still just pull it away, which is what's going to be so good for him. But one of the things I wanted to point out is that Paz is actually stacking up the jungle for Black. He stacked up the hard camp once, and I believe he's just going to try and stack up this medium camp as well. I believe it's going to fail, but he's still opening up so much more farm for Black. So as soon as he hits at least Acid Spray as well as his ultimate, his farm is just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, they're abusing the fact that they knew that DD was going defensive. That's pretty much the whole purpose of the Alchemist pick here, and I do love the choice by Mouse. So we'll see if Black is able to have the mid-game impact that he's looking for. He might even go Midas. He's going to have it really fast. He's only 400 gold away, and it's 3.5 minutes in. Of course, the only way to get a faster Midas, really, is to just get First Blood or get a tower. So he's pretty much farming the best you could hope. He's sitting at 24-1 at 3.5 minutes in, followed by the Darkseer's 21-0, and the Gyrocopter, who is 21-9. So everyone pretty much farming from both teams, but let's talk a little bit about middle lane, because this is going to be the two high-impact players, I think, from each side, or each team, respectively. And Fata, I gotta give him a slight edge just because it's so much easier to initiate on a puck. It just really is.
Yeah, just having the Dream Cult to set up is just so much better. Pass, guarding the haste rune for Fata as well, which means that he's going to be able to come in. He actually bottle crowed, so he's going to have full bottle, and he's going to reset it, of course, with the haste rune as well. So that's going to be really nice for Fata, being able to get that out and just keep on getting the harassment on the illusory orb. But the good thing for Funzy is that he's keeping up in last hits.
Yeah.
He's only one last hit behind, and that's still going to be quite massive for them, because if they're ever going to need a TP in, you can always have that skewer RP. It's, of course, easier, like you mentioned, on the side of Puck, but it's also nice to just have that fear on the side of DD.
Smoke up here by Mouse. They're looking to try to go for the first blood. Fata's going to be able to get the silence. The orb is there as well, but brilliant awareness from Funzy. He walks in the perfect direction, gets away from the gank, and Cinder and Paz waste a little bit of time. I mean, honestly, that smoke wasn't revealed until it would have almost been too late. If he ran back even a little bit towards this tower, he might have just been dead.
Yeah. If he just ran back towards the high ground, he for sure would have been dead there. But really smart decision making, knowing that when the silence actually came out, because you wouldn't use the silence as a harassing method, even though you're in a melee range. You want to use the orb as the harassment. So really smart play by Funzy, and he's going to be able to survive there, and means he's going to be able to stay in mid even longer, just keep on farming up, getting those levels. He's level 6 now, so he can always TP out the lane, get the skewer RP off if it's needed. But up in top lane, Black is up to 40 last hits with a Midas, and he's up to 1,000 gold already.
This is insane. Like, I fear for DD just because of how much farm we know that Black gets whenever he's left alone. This is the ideal situation for a starting Alchemist, and the mid-game potential of DD is still very scary, don't get me wrong, but you're giving Black exactly what he wants, which is total, uncontested farm on a hero who can actually have a mid-game impact.
Yeah, Soxia have been rotating up to top now, but the good thing for Black is that since he's picked up the Midas, if it's not double Iron Shell on the creeps, he can just Midas the creep that's Iron Shell. And now they're actually going to get a push a bit, and he's going to pop his Chemical Rage as well, being able to regen up the Iron Shell damage. And we might just see him use the Midas on the range creep, but it looks like he's going to take it down instead. Might run into the big camp and use that just to be able to get even more experience going. And that's just going to put him even closer to the insane amounts of farm he's going to get. He's up to 48 last hits at 6 minutes into the game with 1,300 gold boots and Midas.
Jeez, look at the gold per minute, man. 560 at 6 minutes. That's insane. That's completely absurd. But Silent in this bottom lane, he's got the phase boots up. He's looking to apply some pressure to tier 1, and he's even going for lifesteal. So maybe even going for a more late game oriented build himself, which isn't, I mean, it's not a horrible choice, but at the same time, I think the drums choice might have been better. Maybe go for a Shadow Blade, because you don't necessarily need a BKB if your positioning is good, because you have the Mag, you have Godblack to help you out, and you have the Darksuiter who's going to have a mech. So I think maybe his choice might want to be a bit more aggressive. I just don't know if Helm of the Dominator is really going to do much for him.
The thing for DD that they've been doing earlier on when they've actually used the Gyrocopter is that they love to stack the Ancients a lot. Yeah. And with the earlier Helm of the Dominator pick, he can just share control with one of his supports, and they can keep stacking while he focuses on last hitting down in the bottom lane. So his farm is also going to skyrocket, but if Black keeps on farming like this and he's getting more and more stacks in his jungle, there's no way Silent is going to be able to keep up.
As Silent, of course, being the carry here for DD, playing on the Gyrocopter, trying to get as much as he can done. But again, I'm totally with you. I'm looking at last hits right now. Black's still ahead, sitting at 62. And I don't know what item choice he's going to make. He's sitting at 2,300 gold. He could go for the straight Shadow Blade if he wants to. It's pretty common. Lets you actually start fighting. But his farm is actually so good that he might just go for a farming build. Maybe go for the Maelstrom, Mjolnir, AC, BKB, and just go the harder carry build.
He can even go for something crazy like a Radiance, and he's going to finish it off before the 30-minute mark. He'll most likely not do it just because it's not going to be that effective in the game. It's just that with the farm he has, he can do it, but it's not likely that we'll see it.
Now, I really want to see the choice that he makes, because that's going to be really indicative of the style that Mals are going to pursue for the game. Because if he goes for the Shadow Blade, you see, of course, he wants to go for fights. And Unstable Concoction here in the top lane, but looks like Darkseer is going to be just fine as Sakshka eats the stun. But it's 8.5 minutes in. I think this is the longest game so far that we've had without a First Blood.
Most likely, especially in this series. It's like, earlier on in this series, it's just been kills on kills on kills. In the first game, I believe we had like almost 10, 15
top.
kills already.
Funzy's
Wow.
going to find Black right before he had 3,000 gold. That's going to be your first blood. So we were talking about the lack thereof. Here comes Fata. He's going to teleport out right after the Dream Coil. Actually, he stops the TP, and Cinderin, he gets melted straight away. It's going to be 2 free kills coming out for DD. Might even be 3. Fata behind enemy lines. It's DD and Mass here. Sakshka, he wants to go for the vacuum, but he's not going to find it yet. Fata going to go down as well. So 3 quick kills coming out for DD. And we talked about how their mid game had to be really good, and getting that start, a step in the right direction.
That's a really good start for them. And Black being such high level as well, he's going to be down for quite some time. He's still got 2.7k gold, so if he wants to get something like a Shadow Blade to be able to farm a bit harder, then, or just be able to be in these team fights, then that could be a really nice choice for him. Midas is going to come off cooldown here, but I mean, he's still going to keep up in the last hits, but getting those 3 early kills on the side of DD is just really good for them.
And that makes me a little bit worried for Mouse, because whenever you have a hero like Alchemist, his start really does need to be totally uninterrupted if you want to get full benefit from the hero. That's just how he functions. So even that 1 death, it doesn't send him back a huge margin, but he lost a pretty decent chunk of farming time. And on an Alchemist, your farming time is more precious than any other hero in the game because of Greevil's Greed. So we'll see how much it impacts Mouse in their mid game. We can actually see that Quakefoot is doing some Ancients down there on that Lone Druid. But it's 3-0. And DD, they're definitely making a statement here. They're saying, we don't care for 0-2. We can come back 2 games in a row, maybe even make it 3.
What I really like with DD, and especially Silence play, is that he doesn't care what carry he's on. He just rotates.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time it is in the game. If he's picked up Phase Boots like we saw in the Gyrocopter, he's just going to rotate up the top. He came up the top with a cooldown and helped out to just instantly burst down Cinderin, and we saw that in the Phantom Lancer game as well. He just fights early on. He doesn't care that he's a hard carry because he knows he's going to be able to get his farm anyways, and if he can get some kills on top of that, it's just going to be even better for him.
The bottom lane could be seeing the first hint of aggression coming out here from Miles and Silent. He falls way back, and Black not going to be able to get in range. Maybe if he had the Chemical Rage on, he could have actually gotten something to happen there, but Shadowblade going to be wearing off, so Silent's going to know what's up. And that was a kill that they really wanted to get, too, especially on Silent. He's only got 800 HP, so it would have been quite easy for them to take him down if they managed to get that initiation off. But now, the Shadow Blade is shown, and Mao's, their game plan has been revealed, at least for the time being.
Yep, and the aggression is not really going to be put up straight away just because DD is going to be able to play passively. Silent's going to be able to farm even more, and he's got a creep up now, so we might see some stacking on the Ancients, but it doesn't look like he's shadowed with someone. Now it looks like he's going to start moving over, and we see another failed stun from Black coming out in mid, and he's really trying to force this, and he's not getting anything out of it.
It hurts him a lot, too, because his Midas is actually off cooldown, so he's going to try to find something. It looks like another big experience creep. He's going for the large camp as he wants to get that, so he's going to be walking down here. He's almost level 11, and once he gets that second point into Chemical Rage, it's going to make Mouse's team fight a little bit stronger. They need a hero who can stand on the front lines outside of just the Lone Druid, because DD, they have a lot of heroes who can do that themselves. But Funzy, he's going to spot Fata here. Not going to use the RP. Manages to jaunt to the orb.
Yeah, wise decision to not blow the RP now. They might want to try and use it again up in top lane if they want to try and gank up on Black, because Silent, he's picked up Band of Elven Skin, and it looks like the Yasha is on his way towards him, or he's only got a Ring of Basilisk, but he might try and get the Yasha up.
Oh, Courier might be in some trouble. Fata, he really wants to go for this. He's actually going to position himself a little bit farther away, so we can start to go for it. Are they going to be able to get it? The orb gives them vision, and they will snipe the Courier. Very nicely done by Fata. He's going to manage to TP back to base in the meantime. And a little bit goes a long way if your Mao is in this position.
Yeah, you need to get everything you can, and getting that extra, I believe, 150 gold on every hero is always nice. And Black finishing off his power tread, so he's going to want to try and go for that more of a hard carry build, just being able to get the extra attack speed out instead of going for the face boots. But he's going to start moving over to this big camp, as we can see is 3 or 4 stacked already, so that's going to be quite a bit of gold for him, and he'll be able to work his way towards another big item with this as well.
We'll see what the next choice is going to be. Honestly, I kind of feel like an early BKB wouldn't be too bad just because of how many disables DD actually have, but then 2 of them actually go through the BKB. So I feel like his item choice is going to be really difficult. Maybe he wants to go for another fighting item, like the AC, of course. It gives him a lot of armor, allows him to stand in the fight, and of course, Alchemist-based armor is pretty horrendous. It's only 3 at level 11, so I'm curious as to know what his choice is actually going to be later on.
I really want to see what he thinks is going to work the best against this team, because he doesn't really need anything big like a Battle Fury to be able to cleave something down, because there's no PL in the game. So I really want to know what he wants to try and get to be able to fight this team especially, because it's hard to decide on the items. I mean, pretty much every carry item can work on an Alchemist.
Time goes on, 14 minutes in, net worth getting a bit skewed in terms of DD's overall net worth, but you look at Mouse and you can see Black, and he is just towering over everyone else. He's going to find Funzy mid. He's going for the solo kill. The unstable concoction is there, but the living armor, it buys him some time, but not enough. As Mouse, they finally find a kill, and it's going to be on Funzy. Might even be on Bucking Mad now, as well as the coil comes out. Telekinesis is going to be there. He tries to steal something. Here comes the unstable concoction. It's going to be Root on Godblack. Can he actually get the unstable concoction? He will. Fata, he jaunts to the orb. He wants another kill. He's going to spot out Sakshka here on the Dark Seer. And here comes a Laguna Blade. It's a 3-man turnaround coming out for Mouse, and the teleport in coming, I think it was from Silent, actually got canceled. So the tier 1 might be under some pressure, and that is something that Mouse desperately needed.
Yeah, that was really nice pick-off kills for them, just because Godblack's been farming the jungle for quite some time now. He doesn't really have that much farm, but Koikwa managed to finish off his armlet. They got a lift out on him as well, so this could be an easy kill for them, but looks like it's not going to work out.
Oh, there's an orb stolen by Bucking Mad. Is he going to go to it? No, the shockwave from long distance actually clips him. Oh, the bear died. Okay, now I see. And Funzy just RP'd the ground? Well, Funzy, not going to have your RP for another minute or 2 minutes, I want to say, but yeah, interesting.
That was a bit of a hiccup move, just RPing the ground. He was really mad at that ground outside of the tier 1 tower especially. But Mouse, with the pickup on the armlet on Koikwa, they can go for, I wouldn't say a super early Roche, but they can still get a Roshan quite quickly. They got level 2 Acid Spray, and of course armlet on the bear, so they can tank up a lot of damage going there. So an Aegis wouldn't be bad, just helping them out to fight even more.
And DD is still looking to make their presence felt in this game as Mouse. They're actually going to be the ones smoking up. They're going to find Bucking Mad. They're going to Blade instantly. He gets bursted, but the living armor is there. But again, Fata, he seals it with another orb, and even jaunts up to the high ground. He's trying to go for Silent. He actually just dies, so I'm not really sure why he felt like he had to go to that one. But honestly, for DD, that's fine. They just got a mid for a support.
Yeah, Silent just being in the right place at the right time. Fata thinking he could get away there and just jumping into a gyrocopter with a rocket barrage. It's quite tough, especially since your phase shift is still kind of a low level. It's only level 1, so it's 0.75 second. Don't really dodge too much damage there, but we see a Hyperstone being picked up by Black, and that could be an early AC, but it could also indicate something like a Mjolnir. But usually when you want to try and go for that, you'll go for the Maelstrom first, so I'd say we're going to see an AC coming out of Black.
I like the AC choice just because right now, Silent, he's getting a pretty decent chunk of farm. You have to worry about Empower. The physical damage from DD will be coming out eventually. It's just going to be a little bit delayed because Silent is really the only one in this team who does much of any. So, of course, getting the AC also helps you in those tower pushes. We were talking about that in one of the previous games when Black was going for it on his bear. It allows you to get the map in your way a lot faster whenever you take a team fight because you can just push. So, 17 minutes in now, Funzy. He's got his reverse polarity back up. He's got his Blink Dagger. Let's see if he manages to hit more than just the ground this time. I'm sure that's what he's going to be shooting for. And it's 5-4, and this is actually, I think, the closest game yet, especially just 17.5 minutes in.
Yeah, and both teams are kind of just feeling it. Mouse does not want to lose another game. They don't want to fall behind or get on the back foot where it's going to be a 2-2. They just want to secure this win, but on the other hand, DD does not want to play recklessly either. We see a surge coming up on Funz, and he really wants to jump here to see if he can catch someone, and just getting one is a big improvement from the first RP.
Yeah. Being able to find anyone pretty much secures in the tier 1 tower. They might just get it anyway. Completely uncontested. There's nothing really going on in terms of contention on the side of Mouse, so they're able to get the tower. No questions asked. It's rolled over 18 minutes here in this game. So the next rune's going to be spawning. See if DD want to pick that up or if they want to just continue pushing. And it doesn't really seem to me like they have any intention of backing off. Funzy goes in the back. He looks for a skewer. He actually completely whiffs. He blinks behind everyone, basically, and tried to find something, but Going to be unsuccessful, and a steal comes in from Bucky Mad. Triple coil is going to land out from Fata. The Laguna Bit's going to be there on Funzy. Oh, the RP gets canceled by the grip just in time from Paz. He wants to try to get it off, but actually might not even need to. Black, he gets the unstable concoction on Funzy. Can he actually get him down fast enough? The RP is going to be on a solo. Black hits a double kill coming out for Silent so far. Can Didi actually manage to take this fight? And a tower surge and living armor off on a Silent. Synderen currently on full retreat. They didn't have enough damage to actually take down Funzy in that engagement. The RP got saved. Black, he wanted to try to finish it so bad, but he isn't able to. DD, they take a team fight. They get 3 kills.
Black just being a tiny bit too slow into that team fight. I question his decision to actually TP the tier 3 tower there instead of actually going for something like charge up the unstable concoction and then TP into the tier 3 tower or tier 2 tower. Probably would have been a better decision, but in the end, Mouse losing one hero and then DD of course backing out, but Mouse still has the possibility to go for a Roche, and they're gonna do it now. You see the Armlet Bear together with an extra Glove of Haste and Black moving in there, but DD does not want to give this up.
Well, right now, they're just not in a position to contest it. They need to start moving if they really want to go for this. TP mid. It's going to be bucking mad. Here comes the smoke up, so they really do want to try to contest it, see if the fight goes well for them. BKB now on the gyrocopter that we talked about, but the Aegis going to go to Black. Silent, he's leading the charge here. He gets enfeebled right away. It's a low level enfeeble. Nice phase shift from Fata. Dodges the skewer, and in the back, bucking mad just gets annihilated by Black. They're trying to go on Sakshka right now. The triple coil comes out again from Fata. Is it going to be enough this time? Sakshka actually getting rooted into place with the surge on. Funzy going to eat a Laguna Blade. They want to try to finish him off. Here comes the overgrowth coming out of Godblack. It's Synderen. He's going to drop. Silent. He's got the BKB going. It's going to be a tangle coming out from the bear. They're going to be able to focus Silent down. Mouse seemingly winning this fight pretty handedly. Funzy on retreat. He's got the living armor, and Fata manages to jaunt up to the high ground to the orb. Blink coming out of Funzy. He's trying to do a little bit more damage. Godblack, can he actually escape this? He's going to try to make himself invisible, but the Shadow Blade movement speed lets him get in range of Godblack, and there's going to be a brain sap and another kill. That was a pretty long team fight. Mouse, gotta say they came out ahead there for sure.
They really came out ahead. The Aegis didn't go down on the side of Black, and he's getting so much more farm of that. He's got 1,300 net worth already, and the only hero going down on the side of Mouse was, of course, Lina, whereas DD lost their gyrocopter, which is their hard carry, and they can't lose him right now just because Koiko is farming so well. Like we saw, he's got the Armlet up on his bear, another Glove of Haste, and it might be working his way towards a Maelstrom. And they need to help Silent get a lot more farm, and surprisingly enough, there's only one stack of Ancients here. I'm guessing he killed it off once or twice already since he's finished off a BKB, but other than that, they need to open up even more space for Silent to farm.
Oh, Fata, he actually blinks in right as Funzy skewers, and the Fiend's Grip is going to be there from Paz. Unreal range. He gets it before the skewer. Black, he actually picks up a kill on Bucky Mad at the same time. What was that Fiend's Grip? That was by far the longest Fiend's Grip I've ever seen. Of course, if you start the animation, of course it's going to go off, but it looked really funny. The glyph is going to be popped here middle lane, but Black, he's going to chop down the tier 1 tower. No backdoor protection for those, and Mouse, they're looking pretty good.
They're looking really good right now. They might even try and get this tier 2 tower down. They know that the RP is down since the Magnus is dead. When he's going to spawn though, it's going to be up. So they have to wait for this creep wave. Bear coming in, doing a lot of damage now. They got the AC of course. Aegis still up. So they might even want to try and fight this just because they got the Aegis. Even if the Magnus actually comes in.
Fata. He wants the kills, but Black, he gets another tower kill. He's up to 3,300 gold already, by the way. He's got the AC, the Shadow Blade, the Midas. 22 minutes in, and he's got 3,500 gold.
He can just buy a straight up BKB and 500 gold, and it's going to be like no problem for him. And that will help him out quite a bit. Even though they got the RP, he won't be taking any damage whatsoever from the cooldown. And Silent, he has soon level 3 cooldown. He's almost level 16, so that's a lot of damage that's going to be removed on the side of DD.
We're going to get a chance to watch this team fight again around the Roshan pit. This was huge for Mouse. Silent walks in. He's feeling confident. He's got the BKB. Fata dodges the skewer with the phase shift. Going to get to the back of the fight. But Black and the Bear instantly kill the Rubik. So this fight starts off as a 4 versus 5 with Mouse having an Aegis. The triple coil comes out as well. And this fight from here on out is pretty much all Mouse. You can see Sakshka getting rooted in. And actually in the meantime, we're going to see in the picture-in-picture that the gyrocopter ends up getting picked off by the members of Mouse, which is even more good for them. And Overgrowth comes out from Godblack, but it just seems to be too little too late. Synderen ends up dropping. Going to see an entangle on a Silent. This is pretty much the end of him. Funzy, he doesn't have an RP left. He even gets nightmared. The Overgrowth, or the Living Armor is going to be there, and everyone else basically on Diddy was on full retreat at that point. But as we mentioned, during that instant replay, we actually managed to see Silent die again, which is a nightmare for DD.
It's really bad. Black picking up a Basher, and Paz actually got a Blink Dagger up on the Bane. I mean, his positioning in the Fiend script is going to be so good for them, especially if he can get a Nightmare out on the Rubik as well, which makes him impossible to steal the Fiend script. Then it's just going the way of Mouse, and they're getting a lot of farm. And the question is, was it the right decision to leave Black free farming up on top? Even though they managed to get the first bout on him, his farm was just so massive there. He had his Midas up, and he had it for about 10 minutes once they ganked him the first time.
We talked about how Alchemist is one of those heroes. Even with one death is not enough.
Oh,
you need to force the Alchemist to fight, and Funzy, he's going to get entangled by the bear, force the skewer out. Black, he's looking for the unstable concoction, gets half health off the Bucking Mad. He's going to get Overgrowth in. It's a triple RP coming out from Funzy. This could be what they need. The call down is actually going to do just not enough damage yet, but here comes Silent with the BKB pop. Black, his Aegis is getting popped as well. He's trying to run away. This could be a turnaround for DD that they desperately need. Fata, he's going to be phase shifting, trying to run away in the bottom fight as well, but Black, is he actually going to go down? 3 seconds left on that Shadow Blade. Shockwave missing there on Fata. Vacuum not up to the high ground, and Black, he looks like he wanted to turn around right there. He's going to get extra regeneration from that level 3 Chemical Rage, but not a huge win for DD, but still something, and they needed it.
Big enough, though, because they managed to kill off. Black might die here. He's stunned himself. Ulti's going to go down in the few seconds. Oh, no, it's actually up for quite some time, so he should be able to get away here, but he's really lucky to be level 17. Having that high level on his ultimate, just knowing that he can sit in it for so long. Koikwa messing around with an Invis Rune, sending his bear in, trying to do some damage, but it looks like they want to go for this. Paz blinking in, getting a Nightmare up on the Darkseer, and this could be an easy kill, but Black is not close enough to get the Sun follow-up, so no one's really going to go down. But in the end, DD got a very nice trade. They managed to get the Aegis, they got a 3-man RP, and a follow-up cooldown. Just killing off Paz, or I mean Fata, Paz, as well as Synderen pretty much instantly is always good. Koikwa and Black didn't, of course, go down, but in the end, it's a really nice trade for them.
DD still have a bit more to go, I think, before they're really, really back into this game. We can look at the Golden Experience and see that Mouse, for a long time, it was remaining pretty consistent in terms of overall farm, and then a couple of team fights later, Mouse, they have pretty much full map control. There are one outer tier tower still standing on the side of DD, and that's going to be that top tier 2. So after that, DD, they're going to have to start using smokes pretty liberally if they want to try to take fights and get themselves back into it. And at that point, it makes it really difficult to try to get farm on that hero, especially Silent, because they commit so heavily to killing him. They know if he goes down, the rest of the damage on the side of DD is not really that scary.
Yeah, they really need to bring him down fast on the side of Mouse, but we're going to see a smoke up out of DD, and they're going to try and see if they can find a pickup kill up in the jungle. We can see Fada as well as Paz. It's hanging around here, but the Blink Dagger is up on Paz, so if he's fast enough to react, he should be able to get away, but Black might move into a bad situation. His ultimate is down, so if they find him here, this could be very big for DD.
Oh, the Shadow Blade,
Shadow
man.
Blade away.
That reaction time, Black gets himself out of a very dangerous situation. He's close to that Abyssal, too. When he gets that, Unstable Concoction, Abyssal Blade, that hero's not moving for a very long time, unless it's Silent. I mean, he can BKB, but he can still get Abyssal Bladed. He can still get bashed after the fact, and Koikva is going to have that entangle as well. This is like a very tense situation for both teams, just because DD are so close to being able to make a stand here, but they desperately need to win something big. They need to be able to get a couple of towers, maybe, look for the next Roshan. I'm just not sure if they can really take a straight-up fight right now. They really need picks.
Yeah, they for sure need to get picks, but if they can get something like the last fight where they actually just kill off the supports before, or not really before the fight started, but just kill them without the supports having an impact. I don't even think Synderen managed to get his Laguna Blade out, so it's really big for them because they need the Laguna to be able to burst down the supports on the side of DD. And yeah, we'll have to see what DD can actually pull out of this, but if they manage to get those big RPs and the follow-up damage, that's going to be massive for them.
We saw that 3-man RP when they were fighting inside of DD's jungle, and that was pretty much the point where you say, okay, DD have pretty much taken this fight. And as you mentioned, that's going to be pivotal for DD to take any ensuing engagements in the rest of this game. Basher now completed on Koikva's Bear. So there's 2 Bashers right now on the side of Mao's against a poor little Gyrocopter who really, he has a BKB. He's going for the MKB on top of that, and they already had a Yasha. but I'm not sure if his damage alone is going to be enough. Because the Empower is going to go away once he BKBs, and he has to BKB. Otherwise, he's going to get eaten alive by the Fiend's Grip, the Light Strike Array, Laguna Blade, all the magic damage and hold down that Mao's have. But now they have two heroes that have lockdown through BKB.
Yeah, the hard part for DD is that they rely on one carry, whereas Mao's relies on two. They got a Lone Druid, they got the Alchemist, and Alchemist, with the rate he's farming, he actually picked up a BKB before finishing off an Abyssal Blade, just to make sure that he'll be able to survive in these fights. And I really like that pickup, because with the rate he's farming, he's going to pick up the Abyssal Blade in just a few minutes anyways.
It just lets him play a bit more aggressive and just run at the Gyrocopter during a fight, because in reality, that's all you have to do. If the Gyrocopter's running, the Gyrocopter's not doing any damage. And the Alchemist in a 1 versus 1 should do significant enough damage to either force him back or at the very least, you know, apply some pressure. So, Mouse, they got a 1-kill lead in this 29.5-minute game. And the Golden Experience still going pretty heavily in their favor, looking at almost 10,000 gold in favor of Mouse. And sooner or later, this Alchemist is going to get 6-slotted, and Mouse are going to say, okay, the time has come, we finished farming on black, it's time to fight.
Yeah, they really want to try, get the Aegis, and DD can't really contest this Aegis. They don't have anything like a Blink Dagger up on the Tree and Protector to get the Overgrowth to initiate. They of course got the RP, but with the way Mouse is killing it, there's no way they're going to make it there. But even if they made it there, they only needed the Bear as well as the Alchemist in the pit to actually do Roshan.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have any openings for an RP anyway. So Alchemist or Black on that Alchemist up to 3.8k gold. So he's going to pick up the Abyssal Blade here, and he's got Abyssal, BKB, Shadow Blade, and AC. He's pretty much good to go for the base.
This next team fight coming out for Mouse is going to be so unbelievably scary to deal with. And Gyrocopter, he's hovering around the Rapier gold. I don't want to jinx it, but Silent, if he goes for the MKB, is it going to be enough? We always have this discussion whenever we see the Gyrocopters, but he's got 3,800 gold. He's walking towards the side shop right now. He knows that Mouse has an Aegis. He knows, oh, it's coming. Here comes the Rapier. And Silent, we talked about how he needed to do a lot of damage. Well, he does a lot of damage now.
He for sure does, but the question is, if they actually scout this Rapier out before, Koikwa's got 2.1k gold. He can pick up a Ghost Scepter on his hero, which means that he's going to be able to stay alive in the fights. And as long as the Bear can do damage, the Bear, of course, is going to go down quite fast. But if he can stay alive and get 2 Bears up in the fight, that's going to be massive for them. As well as the supports are going to be the big problem for Mouse, since Bane picked up that Blink Dagger, as well as Lina doesn't really have gold enough to pick up a Ghost Scepter. So get perfect lockdown on this Gyro. He's at least going to kill off everybody in the backlines. But the question is that going to be enough to bring down the team of Mouse?
Well, they already revealed the Rapier. They walked into the creep wave, they pretty much two-shot it, and that's kind of like, hey, how the heck does he do so much damage? And then you kind of put 2 and 2 together. But Funzy, he's looking for initiation here. There's actually no sentry down. Funzy's actually able to spot this out. And Mouse, they're on full retreat. This could be the opening that they actually need. And Funzy, he's going to catch Cinderin and Quake, but both the Fiend's Grip can be this time. Here comes the counter initiation. Coming out of Fata, the Fiend's Grip again, and a coil. Silent, he's going to get locked in. He's got the Rapier. Can he actually get some auto attacks off? If he can, that would be huge. But Black, he's the only one on the front lines right now. He's just so tanky. Even with the Rapier, a double kill actually coming out on the side of DD. It's going to go to Bucking Mad. Black on full retreat. He realizes how much damage this Gyrocopter actually does. And the rest of Mouse, they're going to try to fall back. Black, he's currently in retreat. Nice stun from Cinderin. The gem is on the ground after the Laguna Blade makes contact. And DD, they actually push Mouse back. That actually could have gone a lot worse for Mouse, though, I have to admit.
That could have been all the supports dead on the 2 supports dead on Mouse sports as well. But in the end, only Fata going down, and they managed to kill off the Mag as well as the Treant, which is really good for them. I didn't notice if we actually saw any buybacks, but it might have been the Lone Druid going down as well, since he's up in base. But it looks like everybody survived other than that, and Mouse is just going to keep on farming away, but that Gyrocopter did so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, he goes and he gets rooted. Like, this is the instant replay of the top fight. And Funzy, no detection. Big mistake here from Mouse. Koikva, Cinderin, they get skewered back this time. The Fiend's Grip actually wasn't fast enough. And Fata goes in for the counter initiation, but Koikva at this point has to run. He has nothing left. Black, he pops the BKB. The Overgrowth is there, coming out of Godblack, which buys enough time for Silent to get to the back of the fight. And it looks like Cinderin did go down. He's the one who actually bought out. And Black goes in and he's like, I'm not doing any damage to Silent at all because of the living armor. And he's like, okay, this fight is pretty much over. We got to back out. And we did see at the end of that Koifa did manage to TP. So now, things just got a heck of a lot scarier if you're Mouse.
It got a lot harder as well. I mean, Black, I'd say the big mistake for him was that he used his BKB before the overgrowth.
Yeah.
That overgrowth was pretty much perfect from Godblack because he used his Abyssal Blade on silent when he had his BKB up, but he popped his BKB before, which meant that when the overgrowth came out, he couldn't right-click and they couldn't kill silent off. But if he saved his BKB, popped it, had the Abyssal Blade on silent, they might have been able to kill him off, and then that team fight would have gone the way of Mouse so easily. But now, DD holding back, and they're still in this game. The score is 12-13, and it's really hard to say who's going to come out on top.
Especially with Silent now having a Talisman of Evasion. Just being able to avoid some physical damage on top of the living armor. We know the Lone Druid has the Basher, the Alchemist has the Abyssal Blade, but he's starting to build himself to tank up against physical damage, which is exactly what he needs because he already has the BKB. So Mouse, they're smoked up, they're looking to try to find an opening, and if they catch Silent, the game is pretty much over. That's the one thing that DD really have to worry about now. They have to, at all costs, keep him safe. The one good thing that they have is, of course, Living Armor, Overgrowth from Godblack, Reverse Polarity, and a BKB Magnus, so they have a lot to actually help him live during these engagements. But all it's going to take one fight that DD lose, and the game is over.
Yeah, if DD goes down in a big fight here, I mean, they got buybacks on Darkseer only, so
yeah,
that's quite bad. They got 680 gold away from the buyback on the side of the Gyrocopter, but even if it dies, he's going to lose the Rapier, and if that goes on the Lone Drip there, or on the Alchemist, there's no way he's going to be able to fight. So if they can find anyone here, except for the Darkseer, they can just go straight for base, because if they can get a good team fight after that, there are no buybacks on the side of DD.
Yeah, Mouse currently playing a little passive right now. The Aegis is going to be fading pretty soon. Fata's getting close to his Hex. Aegis is actually going to be reclaimed here in about 30 seconds or so. So yeah, Black not going to have that for the next fight. I worry that Black's actually going to have enough damage to focus down Silent, because they really need both heroes attacking the Gyrocopter, and that is so hard to do just because of how much lockdown DD actually have, especially for the Lone Druid, because you can actually just telekinesis the bear. He's pretty darn scary at the moment if it's not going to be on Black, and Black, of course, has that BKB, so... Rapier Gyrocopter, Wepos. Is it going to be enough? Can they actually hold this off? Maybe get a Butterfly up, a Satanic, on the Gyrocopter, take some fights, and maybe take it to a Game 5.
He's picked up a Talisman of Evasion now, which means he's going to try and get a Butterfly up as well, which means that Black is most likely going to be forced to go for an MKB. It's not a bad pickup, but they're really forcing the item choice out of him, which is really nice. But Soxka might be in some trouble up here in top if Paz can actually blink forward, but he used his blink before, and will they be fast enough? Black used his stun earlier on, so he's going to stun himself, which means that Soxka is going to be able to get away, and he did have a buyback though, so chasing a hero with a buyback would have been nice to be able to force it out, but now the Gyrocopter's got a buyback as well.
They might be able to pressure a little bit and when the next Roshan comes out, and that's pretty much what Mouse have to do. They just have to make sure that DD don't win a fight or sneak Roshan. That's pretty much the goal, because if DD do that, then they're pretty much fully back in the game. Maybe even have an advantage if they get Silent with the Rapier and, of course, that Aegis. So, Mouse, it's going to be up to them to see if they can actually hold the map long enough for the next Roshan. Yeah, we're going to see Qualifier getting picked off here all by himself. The Rapier damage is pretty significant, but he might actually get Godblack before he goes down. Almost. Has to use another Living Armor just to live through that. And of course the Overgrowth was also expended, so DD, they were looking to be in pretty bad shape about 10-15 minutes ago, but the last 10 to 15 minutes they've been turtling it up quite nicely. They're getting all the damage they need in their Gyrocopter, and they're protecting him very well.
Yeah, and that's a really nice pick-off kill, because even though they're not going to be able to get anything out of it, it's still putting the thought in the head of Mouse is that will they need to buy back on the Lone Druid? They're not going to have to do it now, but DD's moving the way towards mid, and they might actually have to buy back here if they want to keep this tier 2 tower in mid. But the problem is, if they buy back, they're only going to have one bear, and that's quite bad.
Well, smoke up here on the side of DD, and they're inside of Mouse jungle right now looking for kills. And the thing is, I don't think that Mouse actually... Okay, Black knows. Yeah, he's sitting in the middle of nowhere. He's like, okay, this is scary. But Fata, he's going to be running forward. Smoke revealed. It's Funzy. He's going to start killing some creeps here. The large can't, but DD have to know something's up. Or, excuse me, Mouse have to know something's up, because there's nobody really doing anything, and they're going to see the treant here in a second. They're going to be able to spot out Funzy and say, okay, yeah, they were trying to go for a smoke. But everyone on the side of Mouse is going to be able to back up A-OK. And both teams have fallen into a bit more passive play, Mouse more so than DD. And speaking of DD, there's a DD on silent of DD, so that's a lot of Ds. But he hits really hard, 600 damage. And he's going to get Empower on top of that, so actually closer to 700.
That's so much damage on the side of the gyrocopter, but the good thing for Mouse, though, is that Fada managed to pick up a sheep, so if they can get the Abyssal Blade out on the BKB and then get a sheep afterwards, Silent is going to go down if they can actually get in, if Goblak doesn't get this amazing overgrowth that he got in the top fight. So we'll have to see. I feel that a lot of pressure is on Goblak now to be able to get the perfect overgrowth out to just stop the Alchemist from pouncing away on the Silent, onto the gyrocopter. And they really need to lock down the rest of the team as well.
Black just has to be patient with his BKB, I think. I think that was the biggest problem. You brought it up before. If you BKB before overgrowth, you know you're just going to get locked down pretty much for the entire BKB, especially the later it goes. And just look at how fast this tier 2 goes down. Silent. Just melting the tower. Now has a full butterfly to his name on top of that. Actually, no, he goes for the Satanic instead. I thought he bought a butterfly, but now he's got a ton of health. Can they even kill him anymore?
If they don't use the Abyssal Blade on the Satanic, then they're not going to be able to kill him, but he's not going to use it during the BKB, which means that they're going to have to choose. Either we stun him during the BKB, make sure he can't do damage then, and we try and sheep him afterwards, or we stun him through the Satanic. And that's a really hard choice to make, especially when the supports, they have managed to pick up Ghost Scepter on Synderen at least, which is nice because they're going to have the Laguna Blade throughout the fight, but Paz still opting towards the BKB instead, but I feel that he's kind of forced to go for something like a Ghost Scepter. He really needs that up, but Mouse, they want to try and get this Aegis, but DD is not going to let him this time around.
And this is the situation where if DD get this Roshan, they have an advantage. There's nothing else you can say, because killing Silent once is going to be a task. It's going to be incredibly difficult, but if they can't kill him once, they're never going to kill him twice. So DD, if they win this, I got to give them the edge. Mouse, this is the most important fight, basically, this entire match. And it's going to come down to the coordination. It's going to come down to can they actually kill Silent? Can they lock him down hard enough to actually take him out? But this is so tense for either team just because you don't know who's going to get the proper initiation. And whoever does is pretty much going to take the fight.
Look at the positioning of Funzy being in this under the only tree outside of Roche, and they might try and sneak it there. Silent really wants to get it, but Black, he's picked up his MKB, which means he doesn't have buyback.
Grip. He wants the Fiend's Grip on the high ground. Funzy going to get bashed by Roshan. Bear going to be scouting it out a little bit. Bear actually almost going to go down. Does get picked off, and that's a Bear free for DD. They're going to be quite happy about that. Of course, only one more for the next fight, if there actually is one. And the Bane's just sitting on the high ground. He wants to give vision. If they can get the Fiend's Grip off and get initiation, Fata goes in on Funzy. Brilliantly done so far. The triple coil comes out. Can they actually get the fight in their favor fast enough before Silent comes out? Funzy, he's going to be going down. The BKB is popped. It's after the overgrowth. He's going to try to go on Silent. The Abyssal Blade's there. Silent in so much trouble. Beautiful coordination coming out from Mouse so far. Can they actually take him down? It's not going to be enough, even with the Satanic pop. He goes down. The tread's dropped by Black. He's got the Rapier. It's an ultra kill. And Mouse, they take the team fight in brilliant fashion. Everything about that fight was perfectly coordinated. The Hex onto the Magnus after the Fiend's Grip. Silent stuck in the pit. Everything went perfectly for Mouse, and they're going to get an Aegis on Black.
Rapier on Black. He sold his Shadow Blade. He dropped his Power Treads to pick up the Rapier, and he's got an Aegis as well, but I just got to mention one thing. Poor Synderen running up through high ground, running into the wall and just killing himself. He managed to survive that whole team fight with a Rapier Gyro, managed to get the Laguna Blade out, and then he just kind of dies in silly fashion. But such a great fight from Mouse, and the BKB pop there was amazing out of Black.
Yeah.
Overgrowth, instant BKB. Like, not a split second.
Oh my god.
And Black
Look
is just
at how much damage he does. He's got an Abyssal and a Rapier and a Shadow Blade. Just in pure damage items. Even with the living armor, the tower was still losing a good 10% of its HP a hit. The melee racks go down, and I gotta say, DD, they put up a hell of a fight here in this Best of 5 series, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on after this.
It's looking really grim. Even if they manage to kill Black twice to get the Rapier back, he can just instantly buy boots of travel and then go and fight. We see actually a vacuum coming out.
Initiation,
Nice
beautiful
silence.
waiting rift. The BKB by Funzy. He's not going to find the RP that he's looking for. They do manage to kill the bear. The coil's actually stolen by Rubik. Koikfa going to be stuck in. Another coil comes out. This time it's going to be at the side of Mouse, and Funzy, he can't get the RP. He goes down. Koikfa actually drops as well. Immediately buys out Black. He's currently chasing. He wants to find somebody hitting for 600 damage on just to support Rubik. Telekinesis is going to be there, trying to buy his team some time. Can they manage to kill Sox with the Laguna Blade and the Light Strike Array make contact? It's going to be a godlike for Black, a double kill. They're pushing into the tier 3 in the top lane. I think DD, they might be done here in the TI qualifiers.
They might for sure be done here. Koikwa, I believe, went down, but he bought back, so he's back in the fight, and he's got the power treads that Black has that lost. So if he actually goes down with the Aegis, he's just going to get the power treads back and still have the rapier on him. So they're just carrying around the items, and
Black is going to go down. Concoction. He wants to go for the ultimate, but he just dies so fast. Funzy, he gets 3 shots. Silent, he's not going to live long either. It looks to be GG, and Mouse, they lose a game, but ultimately it looks to be a 3-1 in their favor. This is looking so hard right now for DD. And a good game, well played, comes out. Well done by Mouse. They go into TI with their qualification spot. They're not going to have to play against the Eastern Qualifier winner. Of course, DD, they're still going to be making an appearance in Seattle, but they still got more Dota to play if they want to make it in. And Mouse Sports, ever since the beginning of this, it's just been so much about them going to the tournament. Everyone wanted them to make it this far. They've been around forever. So many different roster changes. They've now secured themselves a spot. They are the champions here at the TI3 Western Qualifiers.
Such amazing play coming out of Mouse, just playing it patiently, and that Roshan fight was so big. Just like we mentioned, the BKB pop of Black, being able to keep on going there, and then the fights outside of the base as well. First they got a sheep on Fancy, or first of all, it was a silent. Yeah. And then they got a sheep once the BKB was done. Instant Abyssal Blade. When he bought back, he came out, got a sheep once again, and then just bashed down by Black. And they just kept him CC'd, making sure that he couldn't get that RP out. So really great play by Mouse. And like you mentioned, they're going to go to TI. They don't have to play that wildcard game, and that must feel so good.
That's got to feel amazing and well-deserved, I got to say. Mouse in that best of 3. That second game, or fourth game, excuse me, looked pretty scary for them in terms of that rapier. And we saw the opportunity for DD to come back, but they just couldn't quite seal it. Immaculate team fight around the Roshan pit. But we're back here in the studio. We got James, we got Bruno. One of the more exciting matches that I've had the pleasure of watching, and well played by Mouse.
Yeah, I don't know if we got a replay of the Roshan fight, because this... I just want to say, even though Mouse Sports, all of them played great, and DD, I felt like when they picked up the rapier, I was like, they can win this game, but it comes down to this one fight, and it was the fight it came down to. I have to say, though, Fata, balls of steel, what he did, okay? Because if we go into the replay, Fata initiated it all, and I wasn't actually worried so much about the gyrocopter. It was the Magnus and RP. If the Magnus RP hit, that was dangerous. And the fact is, the Magnus, Funzy, had a BKB, okay? So I was like, how are they going to do this? Like, how are they going to stop him? So if you watch in a moment, like, you're going to get vision on Silent here, but watch Funzy. He's even got a haste rune, and this is where Fata comes in. Boom. There's the Hex. And now the whole team, this is it. The whole team is on go. They hold Silent in place. Black is heading in. He's like, I don't care about anybody. I'm stopping this RP. There's the unstable concoction. And through that, one more hit, instant BKB, perfect timing as Webb has mentioned. But the fact is, without Funzy with that RP, Silent was not going to win this fight. The way that DD were going to win the fight was basically getting Silent in the middle, doing lots of damage with the RP, kill off the supports, and then he can stand toe-to-toe with an Alchemist and a Lone Druid with the items that he had with Satanic. But Funzy had to be there to help Silent, and that's... I like Fata to play that aggressive and to go in that aggressively to start the fight on Funzy, just absolutely incredible play under pressure. I mean, I loved the Fiend's Grip onto Silent, but it was all about the Magnus, and to make that move in such a high tense situation, that's a world-class player right there. That's a world-class team as well. I mean, they all played great, but how they handled that fight was world-class.
I want to call Fada the MVP of the tournament right here, right now.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think Fada has been the best player in this tournament, dominating mid when he went there, making the high-level plays. You just saw that. That is Fada in a nutshell. No, not afraid of going in situations where they could have lost. They could have lost the game right there
Yep.
if that initiation didn't go properly.
Yeah.
He went for it. And we know some other players like Sexy Bambo, they like to go aggressive and just gamble on a big play just to get there. But that's not Fada. Fada is a guy that knows what he's doing. He goes for the aggression because he knows that the aggression is there and it will pay off. And 9 out of 10 times he did it perfectly. So congratulations to him, and of course congratulations to the rest of the team as well. They're the champions of the Western qualifiers for TA3.
I'm like spent after that game. You know, you just watch such an amazing series, and unfortunate that DD, they couldn't take it to a game 5. I think that's what kind of everyone was expecting, because these two teams, up until now, pretty close in terms of overall skill, I would say. But Mouse just came in with such a strong lead today that I think it was too much for DD to really come back into. And they're a team who actually played pretty well from behind, I have to say.
Yeah, I certainly felt from the get-go they didn't have the advantage in the draft.
Yeah.
I really felt that Mouse Sports had something that they wanted, and they had 2 ways to win the game. If you think about Lone Druid and also the Alchemist, there's 2 ways you can win team fights in a big way, and the Puck needs to do his job, which Fatter, of course, did. So, but yeah, it's how scary Mouse Sports are, though. If you think about it, you've got DD, one of the best drafters, knowing to push people into corners in the ban and draft phase. They didn't push around Mouse Sports at all.
Yeah.
The only time that they really got ahead was with the tri-lane with the Weaver, and that was also just great execution. So you can see how hard Mouse Sports are to beat. You really need to have everything going for you. So amazing.
Yes, absolutely amazing. That's the story of the tournament so far. And so far, because the Eastern qualifiers are starting tomorrow.
Yes, this
Nice
is
save.
true. Good save.
Yeah.
Good save.
Which probably we'll all be watching. It's going to be super interesting. If you saw what you saw this week, it's the same, but for the Eastern teams as well. It's a whole new kind of worms right there, because it's different play styles, different teams, different picks, different everything, but the same goal. Who wins goes to TA3. Second one will have to face a tough team in DD Dota.
Yeah, indeed. So, of course, we will be having a winners interview. Mm-hmm. We're going to be arranging that for you guys at home here. I'm sure the pub stomp in London are very happy. They were a bit chanty of Mouse Sports. Our pub stomp as well.
Yeah. It was Robert, let's be honest.
It was Robert, the personal sponsor of Mouse Sports in terms
Robert
of just vocally.
It's actually extra happy now because it looked like Sweden is doing well in the hockey game as well. So he's like,
I think that's also true.
here somewhere.
So,
Yeah, let's do another call to them.
Yeah.
So
Are they there?
I'm setting them up. I think so.
we might. Okay. Well, Scriff's going to set up. We'll see if we can get hold of the UK pub stomp with Pyrian Flax.
In the
They've
meantime-
probably got a lot more energy than we have, as we've been here for 7 days straight. But it's been a fantastic 7 days, and thanks everybody who's joined us throughout the tournament. We're really appreciative of you just enjoying, hopefully, watching the games of the players and also our coverage. And it does sound like Pyrian Flax is still somewhat alive.
Imperial Flags! Hello! Howdy!
He's got to get his in ear. Oh,
Hello?
he's got it. Hello. Can you
Hello?
hear us,
Can you
Pyrian?
guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
I think we have to change the cable.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Apparently not.
Well,
don't think
apparently
so.
not.
Yes,
But
just about.
just
It's
about.
great. Everyone, I'm just going to pick up the camera. This is the room we got here. We've got a lot of people here. It's full. It's absolutely rammed with those two fans. Look at this. This is people just going nuts. That was incredible.
Are you in Afghanistan, Imperial?
He's been kidnapped by terrorists.
Camera's hanging on a lamp. I'm crouched down at my knees. That was unbelievable. I don't think it's going to get that way. Everybody's been drinking a lot of cider with beer here. We're having a great time. I'm here with Cyber Matt. Look at this Cyber Matt. Look at that.
Hi, Cyberman!
Unbelievable. Anyway, yeah. Hello.
Hello, yeah, we were just listening to you talk.
Yeah.
UK internet is shit.
Do you have a question, or is it just noises?
We-
Spot?
We can hear you. It's perfect quality.
Yes.
You've got really good internet over there, Pyrian.
Well, internet is incredible. We're all over it. The internet here is amazing. The problem is, I think we're still streaming and we're trying to cast and we're trying to do scope at the same time. It's just not awesome. But yeah, it's pretty good. The bar has been awesome to us. They've given us a great space. I'm just going to show you again. We've got a massive screen, temper screen. Look at that. How about UK Dota? There you go. A lot of very drunk people. Watching that too. It's been fantastic. It's been a great night. We've had a great time. Hoped that we're going to game 5 didn't happen. 3-1 is awesome. Great performances all around. Very excited.
Yeah, big congratulations to Mousesports. And thanks, Pyrian. You were the organizer of the pub stomp. I guess we'll leave you with just one more question. Are you...
Can't even say it, but that's it. Fantastic.
Yeah. And will you...
Time. I would sing us out, but I have no songs to mind. So thank you very much for coming, and it's been great. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't think you could hear us whatsoever.
John Locke is alive.
Huh?
John Locke from The Lost is alive.
Okay, John Locke from Lost is alive, Houseborn has come to tell us.
That's
I was going to ask him if he was all going to organise more pub stomps. And I'm assuming he will. It looked like a great turnout,
yeah,
and the guys
they
over there
want
did
to.
enjoy it. Do we have a camera feed of upstairs? Yeah, okay.
We do have Fata though. We can call Fata.
Yeah, so we're going to chat with the pub stomp upstairs. I know they're going to be really happy in terms, at least, I think everyone didn't really mind who won. They just wanted the best team to win. And from the get-go, Mousesports really did show themselves as the best team. So
They just wanted to drink some beer.
yes. Yeah, we'll check if Robert is still in the premises or if the cops, as I called them, have shown up.
Yeah.
But we're checking just a moment. But I'm overly impressed. And it really is a deserving win. A 3-1 victory is a big victory to take, especially against DD. Because imagine if you did rules in the tournament where you're like, oh, DD, they got to the winner bracket, they get a 1-0 advantage. Mousesports still would have won.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's amazing. So, all right, we're gonna go. We're gonna go upstairs.
Yeah.
I'll see if Semler's on the mic, but they all seem. I can see him on the preview screen, all scattering around,
getting ready.
putting their clothes back on.
Yeah.
And all right, let's go to the pub stomp upstairs. And surely they're happy about the victory as well, not just because of the victory, but also the great games here today.
Yep. Wow, my ears.
Holy shit! Somehow there's more good studio hoodies every time we see them. Have they got into storage?
They seem to have gotten all of our hoodies.
Congrats, Cinderan.
Easy. What do you think about it?
Easy.
There you have it.
All right, there we
That
go.
was a
Thanks,
great
Pub
interview,
Stomp.
Semler.
Keep drinking. And yeah, so we do have Fatter. We probably don't need to change around. Do we need to change around some cables to get a Skype call with him, or is Scriff already on the job? You don't have him on
Yeah,
Skype?
but I can
Change the
I can-
cables?
All right, we're going to add you to the call, Scriff,
Right.
and then we're going to talk to Fatter live. We don't need a break. We don't want to. No going away. We don't
Never
need to-
go away.
We're not leaving. We're not leaving.
So I'm dropping script there.
Live commentary of Skype.
Yep.
Semler, a fan favorite upstairs. I got to thank everybody as well for turning up
Yeah.
upstairs. They've
They
made it
were
really
great.
fun. I've been up there watching with them, and it's been great. So, how you doing, Scriff?
Nothing's happening, Bruno.
But I added you on the conversation.
You just typed to me. And
No.
It should
as
say that he's
well.
added you. You just click on it.
Check your other chat.
We can run a qualifier for $2 million, but we can't organize 3 people to a Skype call. And Pyrian Flax is able to organize a piss up in a brewery. So right now, guys,
I can't believe.
we do get a Skype bug, by the way, in the house, just because of how many connections we have going to Skype, where sometimes people don't see each other.
Yeah, but it always works with Andy.
It always works with Andy.
Nah, I don't know.
This is all I got.
Yeah, it's
I only got that message from Bruno. There's no one else in that conversation.
There's no one else. Valid does not exist in the
Okay,
conversation.
there's
with-
another conversation now. Can you see that conversation?
One of you has got to restart Skype. I'd recommend both.
I'll do it.
Let's do it.
Do we check on Semler in the meantime? He's going to interview Big Khan.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So
yeah,
we're going to go back to Semler. He's got an interview with Grey Khan, the real boss of DreamHack.
Thanks for giving it away, James. Yes, I'm standing here with Grey Karn, who is, or Thomas Hermanson, works from DreamHack, the real boss of DreamHack. How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's a lot of people here.
Yeah, surprisingly. I don't even know why we bother trying with Robert here. Like, nothing's ever gonna happen. I don't know. All right. So, what did you make so far of the games? Did you enjoy the games?
Yeah, I watched at least 3 out of 4 maps, I think. So, but it was good. It was good.
You think Mouse deserve it
Yeah, absolutely. I like
over
it
DD?
as well, just like Hellspawn.
Oh, you're a Cinderin fan too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does this go way back, or is this just something that kind of like you heard his name and you were like, he sounds cool?
No, not really. But I mean, he's one of the biggest personalities in the Dota 2 scene, and also I think he's a good guy in general, and I'm happy that he succeed as a player.
So you're excited to see him with his new team, or he is the new addition to the team, go over to international.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the storyline that Hellspawn brought up with beating his former teammates is a good one as well.
Yeah, we might have got that if Hellspawn was like halfway serious with his interview. And also, Dota's going to be a DreamHack, isn't it?
Absolutely. 16 teams, I think, Hellspawn.
16 teams, he thinks, Hellspawn.
It's going to be the biggest prize pool so far in a DreamHack tournament. And, I mean, I think this is the first really big tournament we're going to do, and we're going to carry on and do even bigger Dota 2 tournaments coming up this autumn.
Yeah, great. Say, watch this spot for 2014.
Yeah, watch this spot for 2014.
On that note, we're going to throw it back down to James with the interview.
All right, yeah, and that was, of course, Grey Khan. And it's always nice to hear because, a lot of people have come to this pub stomp. Some of them knew Dota really well. Actually, the people that knew the most Dota were actually the girls in the corner. I just want to point this out. They were telling me, all this stuff. They knew way more than Pudge there that you just saw on screen. But I just got shouted at. But either way, it was really interesting to see some people at the pub stomp here today were like, I didn't know much about Dota, but they're going to play it. They're getting really into it, and also DreamHack as well. They've always supported Dota, but with the kind of the direction the community's going, the turnout of the pub stomps, the turnout on the streams. Hopefully, they'll do more and more. And there's Mike. Adam. He was actually There's a lot of thank yous to say at the end of this, and Mike was one of them who helped with most of the organisation in terms of just making sure the teams are ready and stuff. So he's been great. So anyway, let's go to. I'm of course lying here, by the way. Mike is just a drunk. And also, just to let you know, the pub. I just want to let you in on a little secret about Mike, right? This is what Mike's social life must be like. Mike was told to, he said, I'll organize the pub stomp, right? And he was like, okay, we got like 20 to 25 people. He didn't know how much alcohol would be consumed by 20 to 25 people because he's probably never had a party with that many turning up, bless him. So he Googled it, alcohol for 20 people. So Mike bought the perfect amount of alcohol based off what Google told him, and it's perfect. He got it right. It's amazing. So congratulations to Mike. But unfortunately for Mike, Google didn't tell him that Robert Olin was coming, and the party will soon be finishing up. Either way, we're going to go with an interview. We're going to go for an interview with Fata, and let's focus on, once again, on the congratulations to Mouse Sports and the winners of the tournament. So, Scriff, you ready?
He's in the call.
Oh, he's in the call.
Hello, Fata. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hey, man.
Congratulations! You are going to play on TI3. How excited are you?
I feel awesome, man. Always wanted to go to TI. I've had this as my aim. Like the half year when I joined Mousesports, I was saying I really want to go to TI. And now this aim has been achieved, and that's really great.
That's great. And now we've been saying all through these last 10 to 15 minutes that we believe that you are the MVP of the tournament. You're placed with so many heroes, particularly the pack. We want to highlight so many good plays, not only in this series but all throughout the tournament. And we want to congratulate you for that. But we want you to tell us a little bit about how did you prepare for this DD Mouse Sports final match. You lost last time 2-0, and you have to prepare very, very well because you pretty much dominated 3 of the matches that you played today.
I'll be honest with you, we didn't really do any, we didn't prepare for this match especially. After the DD loss, I said a lot of things for 20 minutes, and I think that helped for the Rock's Kiss match as well and stuff like that. And from then on, we just took this morale boost and used it for every match that is to come. And we came into better drafting, into better plays. Just everything worked out without even preparing too much. It's not like we were sitting here 3 hours before the game and try to analyze their picks, because we know skill-wise we can handle them, and strategy-wise we just do the same thing like against Rock's Kiss, like banning the gyro or trading Batrider for gyro with Nikes. And Goblak fell for this strategy in the first 3 games, or in the first 2 games, and then he reacted on it, and that gave us an easy 2-0.
And I want to ask you about 2 picks that DD did. Oh Jesus, it's getting worse. 2 picks for DD that kind of worked for them, sometimes didn't work. I want to see your opinion because you had to face them, and you have to tell me how hard or easy it was to play against the Treant Protector and the Razor.
I think we saw in the game we lost that combination is really strong, as it can easily outlane Scylla. We saw Razor completely crushing the Scylla Bear on the safe lane even, Razor was off lane. But the problem with this, with the strategy is it's countered. If we would have safe laned the Scylla Bear and just put Nikes in the jungle, then what could have the reaction for them? They can't jungle a Razor and they can't offlane a Razor against the tri lane. So it's easily countable, but we didn't react that well to the laning of them. And other than that, I think it had a lot of potential picks, but for me it was also a bit of outplay, I must admit. And it wasn't only the picks that we had superior. We got what we wanted and we got to play our strategy, and that made us really strong for the games, even though they had some really nice ideas with the picks.
It certainly showed that you actually played better than them, at least in the 3 matches that you won, and even in the match that you lost, it was really even. I mean, they had the control of the map, but at certain moments we thought if Mousework can get one right team fight, they can definitely turn this game around. So all in all, very strong plays from all of you. And you'll be going to Tier 3. So, James, do you have any particular question for Fada?
I just want to know, the last fight where you initiated with a Hex, or sorry, a Sheep onto the Magnus, how tense was it before that fight kicked off? And what were you thinking when what provoked you to go, we're going now? How did you know when you were going to go and what your plan was?
The big props actually also go to Pass for that fight. We kind of coordinate. He blinked up there on if you saw that on the Rush pick, I think on the Rush, the little hill next to Roshan to get a Fiend Script off, and I think that was such a good idea. And it was obvious. Beforehand we just say, I'm gonna work on the Magnus and the Rubik, blah blah, silence him, hex him, and he's gonna Fiend Script the gyro, and it just worked out so beautifully because he jumped up the hill, and they even if they moved there with Magnus, they would have had to score him down, use him, and it's so hard to disable a Bane from there, so that was really a genius move for me. And then it was clear for me that I just have to handle the Magnus while Alchemist takes care of the rest, so
Yeah, well, you guys have played absolutely amazing. It's going to be your first international that you're going to.
Indeed.
Cinderin, of course, has been now to all 3. You've got a great team, and you really did deserve to win this. So congratulations to you. I'd just like to give you a moment to shout out any of your fans or any of your teammates or anything you feel worthy of your victory today.
Shout out to Alex, ex-Mouse player. Good guy. Shout out to Dota Source, the German Dota forum, and every of my fan or whoever's a fan, big props to you, fan of Mouseboard, big props to you as well. And I hope we keep getting support and I hope that we can show our strength at the international as well.
Yeah, I certainly think you can, and you guys played amazing. So once again, congratulations on being the winners for the International Western Qualifiers. You came all the way through the lower bracket. You won the whole tournament at the end. It was amazing to watch you. And also, I still think a congratulations as well to DD. They played fantastic, and they were a very worthy runner-up team.
Okay.
So thank you very much for coming on.
Not a problem.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks for having me.
That was Farah. We talked about him.
I was half expecting him to say congratulations to the runner-up. I wanted him to say, yeah, they were really good.
Yeah.
Really good team. We had a tough game. I look forward to, and I hope they beat the Eastern Qualifier team. But I think he's almost in shock.
Yeah. No, the pleasantries were yesterday.
Yeah, the pleasantry, today. I almost think it was kind of in shock in terms of like, it was just like, yeah, yeah, they were good, but so
We won.
it's amazing. Like Mouse Sports just coming out first place is absolutely amazing. So Andy, before we leave the show today and talk about the Eastern qualifiers, any kind of last words for everybody here who's watched the Western qualifiers?
Well, big shout out to everyone for tuning in. Obviously, our viewership, everybody who watched in-game. Big shout out to Mike, of course, for being the admin, taking care of the sickly commentators while we were trying to get through the days. So it was really nice for him to do that. I'm pleased with how everything rolled out. We've had a couple of technical issues here and there, but for the most part, it's been a really smooth tournament. I think the victor here, being Mouse, of course, well deserving. And honestly, I can't think of a better end because Mouse, everybody loves Mouse. You can kind of just see that, in the players especially. Fata, even in the winner's interview, sounded incredibly humble. He was just happy for the experience, and I don't know. For me, this is pretty much the best ending we can get.
Wepas?
Well, there's not much more to add to Drasco except for big shout out to all the teams that got invited and bringing us these great games. I mean, it's been 7 amazing days, and even though we didn't get full series in all the series, it's still been really interesting. We've seen some really nice picks, a lot of Slark, Racer we've seen a couple of times, Tree and Protector when it comes to DD, and it's just been a great tournament overall, and it's been really nice. So yeah, big shout out to the teams for bringing their A game.
Yeah, but overall, this entire tournament has been run pretty smoothly, and we actually have another person that I wanted to thank really quick, and I just thought of it because he actually walked down into the studio, so I'm cheating, but Stasia, he was admitting for us and enforcing the rules and such. And
Yeah, go on, Stasia. Get some
generally
camera
being a
appearance.
boss.
He came
Scriff
down.
as well.
Scriff as
That's
well.
the guy that you want.
Dedicated
And Scriff,
observer.
our observer.
Alright.
So, yeah,
he
so-
misses kills, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, just a huge thank you, Andy Webhas, for commentating. Stasia and Scriff, of course. Scriff, please, that's not your head. Scriff. Still not your head, Scriff, but thank you very much,
just
guys,
making
for doing
Boba jealous,
this. Also, I'd like to give a thank you to Michael that helped with the websites, with
Yes.
yourself, McCormick for the overlay graphics, as we did everything custom made for the tournament. FX as well, who's been doing our overlays for a while, did a great job.
Yes.
Trans, who's just doing production stuff, and he didn't shout at anybody today. It's been amazing. He's even been in a good mood at the end today. And of course, you, Bruno, for helping out with just basically a lot of the organization and how this ran. So thank you
Why
so much.
not you? I want to thank you as well.
Yay.
I don't want you to feel left out.
Thank you, James.
Thank
It's
you,
nice
James,
to be
for-
involved in the circle jerk, but my circle jerk will continue after the show upstairs. Sorry, guys. Either way, once again, thanks for watching the Western Qualifiers, guys. A big thanks to Valve for just giving us an amazing opportunity to host this. Also, you guys watching the tournament, you've been great. All the communities that have got involved, the guys that even made the poster wall, that was really fantastic as well. But once again, to the teams and, of course, your champions of the Western Qualifiers, it's Mouse Sports here winning the International Western Qualifiers. A big congratulations to them, and we'll see them and you at the International. Make sure you watch the Eastern Qualifiers tomorrow with Beyond the Summit, but for us, we're out of here.
See you in Seattle at the International in Seattle. Love you, Seattle.